We're gonna try this again. We're gonna try this again. This is the story, fictional story, the killer of 79th. We're gonna get right into it. The south side of Chicago wasn't a place that took kindly to outsiders, let alone people who thought they could clean it up. But on the corner of 79th and Ashland, in a rundown corner store that hadn't been seen cleaning in decades, three unlikely heroes were about to meet their fate, or maybe just their next questionable decision. It was a Tuesday night when the scream started. Not the usual screams of a bar fight or someone arguing over a stolen bike. These were different. The kind that make you look over your shoulder and then you keep walking because you know what happens when you go poking around in places that ain't your business. The neighborhood had been whispering about a serial killer for weeks. Some folks even stated calling him the Red Line Strangler, named after the deadly route he seemed to take through the city. But no one wanted to deal with that kind of drama, except for Tasha. Tasha lived for drama and snacks, and maybe a little danger as well, just enough to keep life interesting. So on that fateful Tuesday night, she pulled her hoodie tight, tied up sneakers, and made her way toward the first crime scene, Mrs. Pearl's house on 79th Street. Mrs. Pearl was a sweet old woman who always made sure to leave out a plate of fried chicken for Tasha whenever she dropped by to chat. She was the one who first mentioned the whispers about the killer. That night, the whispers turned into something more tangible. Tasha wasn't alone, not even close. Marcus, the guy who ran the local corner store, had a had a fascination with the crime scene photos. He was the one who handed out the flyers about the killer and told anyone who would listen that these crimes were just too clean, too precise, as though he was damn expert in crime. Meanwhile, his cash register was rigged to give out incorrect change, but nobody ever noticed because, well, who's really counting change on the south side? And then there was Rashida, Tasha's cousin. Rashida didn't even believe in ghosts, but she was terrified of anything else. She had came over to Tasha's house to warn her about the killer while munching on a bag of Doritos like nothing was wrong. Y'all are crazy, Rashida said, wiping orange dust off her fingers. I'm staying right here. Y'all want to play detective? That's on you. But she didn't mean it. Deep down, Rashida was just as intrigued as everyone else. You couldn't live in Southside Chicago and not get stuck in a little chaos. Besides, the weather was terrible, and Rashida wasn't about to walk home in the cold alone. So the trio set off. The plan was simple: find the killer, get some proof, and then turn it into the police for a reward. It was an awful plan, but it was all they had. What's up with you? As they made their way down 79th, the neighborhood was eerily quiet, the kind of silence that could drive a sane person mad. The wind howled through the alleyways like a thousand ghosts screaming in unison. Streetlights flickered overhead, casting long, jagged shadows that made even the most seasoned locals take a second glance. Marcus pulled out his phone, tapping the screen frantically. There's a new victim, he said. His voice trembled just a little too much from someone who claimed to know so much about the killer. They found her down at the laundromat on Ashland. Why the laundromat though? Tasha muttered. Makes no sense. Who killed someone in a laundromat? Ain't nobody got time to fold laundry, much less strangle a person. Rashida didn't say a word. She had already spotted something. A bloody handprint smeared across the laundromat door. Oh, hell no, she whispered. Y'all go on ahead. I'm going back to the store. Rashida, are you seriously turning back now? Tasha said, raising an eyebrow. You a punk for real. Call me whatever you want, but I ain't going in there, Rashida snapped. Y'all are going to get yourself killed messing around with this psycho. But hey, good luck with that. Despite the tension, the two of them, Tasha and Marcus, pressed on. They reached the laundromat, and the scene was just as grim as the rumors had promised. The fluorescent lights buzzed overhead, casting a sickly greenish glow over the machines where a body lay sprawled across the tile floor. The woman was obviously deceased, her neck twisted at an unnatural angle. But it wasn't just her body that caught Tasha's eye. It was the notes scattered around her. See this? Tasha muttered to Marcus, pointing at a torn pieces of paper on the ground. Who the hell writes notes on the bodies they killed? Marcus bent down and picked one up. It was a message, scribbled in messy handwriting. This is only the beginning. Yeah, we definitely got a psycho on our hands, Marco said, his voice trembling now. Tasha knelt beside him, eyeing the other scraps of paper. There was another, more detailed one. You can't save them all. I'm already inside your heads. Well, that's not creepy at all, Tasha said, standing up, dusting her hands off. All right, we've seen enough. Time to call the cops. And now, and that was when the door behind him slammed shut. Marcus spun around, his face pale. You gotta be kidding me. Did we just lock ourselves in here with the serial killer? From the corner, a low, chuckled echoed. It was slow, deliberate, like someone enjoying the tension they were creating. The man the man stepped out from behind the rows of dryers, his face hidden in shadow, save from the glint of a knife held high. Oh, hell no, Tasha muttered, reaching for her phone. We gotta get out of here, now. But before she could dial 911, the man spoke again. I've been waiting for you, he said, his voice distorted, like he was trying too hard to sound menacing. Marcus, the expert on crime scenes, tried to stand tall. Yo, my man, you don't want this smoke. We've seen worse stuff on the streets, you feel me? The man cocked his head. Oh, really? Because I don't see any weapons on you, and I don't hear any police sirens coming. Tasha, who had been quietly observing, suddenly grinned. What if I told you you're not the one hunting us? The killer froze. What? He asked, stepping closer. Tasha pointed behind him, where the shadow of Rashida was loomed, carrying a lead pipe, of all things. Boom! Rashida shouted, swinging the pipe with all the force she had. The killer collapsed with a wet thud. The group stood over him in stunned silence for a moment before Tasha burst into laughter. Who knew Rashida was packing heat? She laughed, shaking her head. That's what you get for thinking you're smarter than a couple of broke kids from the south side. Rashida just stood there, out of breath, wiping the sweat from her forehead. Ain't no one gonna kill me on my watch, she said, looking down at the killer. And so the legend of the Red Line Strangler came to an end. Not with the bang, but with the pipe and a couple of unqualified wannabe heroes. As they all walked home, they couldn't help but laugh at the ridiculousness of it all. After all, in the south side of Chicago, danger wasn't just something you lived with. It was something you survived with a joke and a snack. And that's it. That's part one of the story. That's part one. Part one of what's the name of this shit? Part one of The Killer on the 79th. If y'all fuck with it, if y'all think it's cool, let me know. Comment, go ahead, let me know. I'm gonna start doing these. I'm gonna start doing these only live stream. This is only gonna be a live stream. I'm gonna do dark time stories. And yeah, man. So fuck with your boy. Holla at your boy. I'm gonna see y'all next time.